We've been tricked by these Satanists. They tricked us into all these kinds of attitudes. They've taken us out of our power. Our natural power is to be fruitful and multiply.
Hi, Ellie Weber. Welcome back to our channel, my dear family and friends, brothers and sisters. A lot going on, but a lot not going on. A lot doesn't have to go on. It's all an inside job, really. And that's what I want to discuss today, how we're coming into a level of comfortability. That's sort of the key word that I'm thinking of when we talk about 5D consciousness, a level of comfortability with self. And I'm going to explain what this means. I'm going to go into it a little bit. Please like and subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, check out our cool products and the show more. Call our peeps if you need some healing stuff, some med beds, like med beds in a bottle, this kind of thing, or whatever you need, the patches. I'm making this recording literally hours before we come into Pesach, into Passover. And then you can see here I'm in a different place, and there are actually people outside my door. I'm not used to living around people. It's a very interesting experience for me. But Passover, and again, people are celebrating Easter and Ramadan. So the whole world is going through this transformation, and the beginning of the year of this transformation from winter into spring. Spring is where the growth occurs. Spring is when the plants start growing again. Spring is when the weather changes. It gets warm. In New York, we have seasons. I mean, maybe, a lot of people live in Florida now, and it's hot all the time. I'm less a guy of seasons. I mean, the thing with the seasons is, living with seasons, is it makes you kind of tough. It makes you have to change, and it makes you very adaptable. So if you get comfortable being warm one day, you just wait 5 minutes and it's freezing. That's kind of how you get that kind of New York frame of mind. But this whole thing of comfortability, of being in a place, in other words, you don't have to spend time meditating, I believe. And I've been talking to Gila about this a lot, that Gila says she just doesn't like to meditate. And I really relate to that now. I meditated for hours and hours with my guru, and I meditated. I went to sweat lodges, and I did all kinds of meditations for many, many years. And now the best meditations I have are just sitting in a chair looking at the water. The real idea is that life takes on a new meaning because it is the meditation. In other words, you don't want to remove yourself from life to enjoy life. You want to live life in life. You want to use your meditation. Your meditation should be your life. Your life should be this productive force, this conscious force. In other words, while you're conscious, while you're doing the things that you love to do, and again, you should be doing the things you love to do. That's the key to all of this. And in this new age, as we wake up, we will not be doing silly jobs. You will not be counting beads for somebody else. It won't make sense in the new world. We will have these kind of accounting structures naturally. We'll have a quantum system. We'll have quantum computing. And no, it's not the central bank system that's going to track you and punish you. That's we're coming out of this whole mindset, and we're so used to it. It's not an easy transition, but this is a time of transition. We are in Pesach, in Passover, Easter, Ramadan, or just coming into springtime. This is a time of great transition, and not just for the plants. I know myself, whenever I go through a Pesach experience, every year I've been celebrating, I've been participating in a Hasidic Pesach experience for probably 25 years now. Every time I do it, it's 8 days long, I come out feeling like a completely different person. And here is the kind of key that I've been thinking about lately, about the aspect of multi-dimensionality. What does that mean? They say we're multi-dimensional beings. What does that mean? Well, one thing it could mean, and I'm not saying this is what it means, but I'm saying that this is something that I'm thinking, is that we are different people during the day. We are different people when we wake up versus when we're midway through the day. We have a totally different energy, a totally different way of thinking, a totally different focus. So a lot of this multidimensionality kind of pivots on the idea of becoming aware of where you're holding in any particular moment. So you can choose. It's like you are in this theater with all these different movies, and you can choose which movie you want to focus. Do I want to focus on my heart space? Do I want to open my heart? Do I want to think about something that happened 20 years ago and try to make sense of it? Do I want to imagine what I want to eat in an hour? And all these places where you could go inside of you, inside your mind, are multi-dimensional areas, settings of self.
So you, in a sense, you are like a multidimensional being in that you are a different person in any particular moment. And you can fly. I mean, you see children, a child could be screaming their head off about some unfairness that has taken place in his life, and 2 minutes later he's laughing. That's what we all have. We all have that quality to bounce back and to choose. So as we come into this five-dimensional aspect of reality, this new consciousness, the Great Awakening, the era of Mashiach, we will be more conscious. We won't just be reacting to things that people say. We won't be looking at news stories and gnashing our teeth. How could they arrest him? It's just, we won't be reacting to these things. We'll be creating. We will be fruitful and multiply. We will be actively, consciously creating. We'll say, you know what? I want to spend a little time thinking about this idea that I came up with this morning of multi-dimensionality. I want to spend like the next, let's say, a certain quantity of time or the next block of my focus on this aspect of multidimensionality to try to figure out, is this true? Is it true that I'm like a different person at different times during the day, or that within the space of 3 seconds, I can go to like 5 different settings, 5 different environments, 5 different situations? We are creators, and we are creating our world in every moment. So you can choose. All you have to do is say, you know what? I'm in a bad space now, man. I don't really want to sit in this. I don't want to really sit here and be angry about somebody else, or even really think about how somebody else might have done something that was not nice to me, or whatever, anything, and all those kind of thoughts. I don't really entertain those thoughts very often anymore, if at all. But I used to, in the old days, I used to spend all my time in those aspects of multidimensional personality, where I was feeling uncomfortable, where I was feeling angry, where I was feeling regretful, where I was feeling shame. I would focus on that, and it just expanded. It became like, it's like you're constantly going through this tumultuous experience. So we have a choice, and we can just say, well, you know what? I really want to think about building a house in the country, or I want to think about a vacation where I go mountain climbing, or I really want to think about, what does it look like 1,000 feet under the sea? We can pick and choose our realities at any given moment. It's like being in the greatest fun house imaginable. You can pick any ride you want. You can even invent a ride that didn't exist before. So we're coming into a creative reality, a kind of just like a fun house, really. I mean, I read this book years ago by, I think his name was John Mark, called Lost in the Funhouse. And he was kind of talking about like the difficult times in the funhouse. I mean, you can go through an evil funhouse. You could go, and that's the funhouse, and we've been living it for the last couple thousand years. We've been tricked by these Satanists, and they tricked us into all these kinds of attitudes. They've taken us out of our power. Our natural power is to be fruitful and multiply. Our natural power is to be creative. Our natural power is to connect with the godliness that's inside us and experience great things and great adventures in every moment. It can be an adventure like, I just went to a Walmart to buy some beverages. I was thinking, should I buy this kind of water, that kind of water? I eventually ended up buying a bunch of fruit juice. I mean, it was not what I expected to do, but it was an adventure. And I walk there. If you're involved in the moment, the whole experience is an adventure. I had decided to take a backpack because I don't have a car. And I went down there. I was noticing how fun it was to walk with an empty backpack. And on the way back, I was struggling with all these liquids that I had on my backpack. And I was thinking this is really taking me out of the moment. I'm thinking about I can't wait to get there so I can take this backpack off. I said, I'm missing out on the experience of walking up this steep hill somewhere out in the country, upstate New York, looking out at the vista, looking out at the mountains, thinking beautiful thoughts, smiling, and just experiencing the moment, the joy of being alive and in a body and having everything I need. I'm really comfortable. I'm just buying extra things that'll make me a little more happy. I think we really have to, think good, and it is good. But what does that look like? We need to start examining what that means. So we need to like bring ourselves. I mean, how do we do this? What I'm giving you is like a practical, maybe instructions that I use. How do I bring myself into this space of comfort, of feeling good about things, of just being okay in the moment, not having to think 6 steps ahead. What do I have to do at 3:31 this afternoon or anything like that? Just being in the moment of climbing up the hill with a couple of heavy bottles on my back and being okay with it and saying, wow, man, this is an experience I'm having here. My friend Gila talks about how we're really just vibrations, and God gives us choice as to whether or not we experience the godliness, the kind of the overflow, the overview of any given moment. So it's a choice that we can make. We have a choice. I mean, it becomes easier the more you practice it, but I would recommend that everyone start practicing right away the joy of creating your own reality at every moment and being able to choose between climbing up a hill with a backpack full of liquids and feeling miserable, just waiting, can't wait till it, when it happens already, like something's going to happen. I'm going to be there already. And enjoying the struggle, enjoying the moment, enjoying whatever comes your way, because, I always say that everything is a personal message to you from God in any moment. And you can choose to take it in a number of ways. Like Gila says, God is a vibration and we are vibrations. And we can choose to be connected in different gradients of concentration. Like how much do I want to feel my heart right now? How much do I want to experience joy? Do I have time to feel nirvana right now? I mean, you could be too busy. I mean, this is practical. At the end of the day, if it's not practical, it's not spiritual. Jewish people give each other a blessing. They say, I want to give you a blessing for Gashmias and Ruchnias. What does that mean? Gashmias means physicality, and Ruchnias is spirituality. What comes first is physicality. And this goes against the idea, though, I'm going to sit on a rock and meditate all my life. It really means being involved in the world in a joyous way, that we should enjoy the fruits of physicality first. We're really coming into the new age. And I would say the word that really describes it to be best is comfort. Not comfort like, I'm going to lay in, silk rose cutters, or I need a Lamborghini, or, but comfort like I feel good about things. I feel good about myself. I feel connected to the situation. I feel like I have a choice and I'm making the right choice to think about it in the right way. So that's really it. Just have the best Passover or the best experience. In the next couple of days, I won't get to see anybody, but just have the best experience possible and allow things to happen to you in a natural way. Don't try to control it like, oh no, this is going to happen. Just allow things to sort of come to you. That's really the comfort of being in your own movie, of being an actor in your own play, to just know that God is presenting you the details and the focus and the thoughts and the language to make every moment a joyous one or a learning experience. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I mean, I get tired of joy sometimes. I'm just like, I want to focus on something a little more that has a little more zip to it, a little more meaning to it. I want to have a little more of a physical adventure kind of thing. But anyway, I'm wandering a bit. But the bottom line is that we are all going through a transformation as a people, as a planet, and we are leaving, that's right, we're leaving the narrow place, we're leaving this constriction of the language of lies, we're leaving the Satan behind. You can see it in the news. He's being squarely defeated. He's being called out, and he cannot survive in the light. That's the whole trick here. You can flourish in the light. So please like and subscribe to the channel. Come to our live meeting, smash the like button, the notification bell. Check out the cool products, man. We got MedBed in a bottle with Sia, plus it's great for your skin. My hair is growing back, my wrinkles are getting better, and I just feel better about myself. Like I said, physicality first, then spiritual. You want to be here. You want to be enjoying the physical aspect of reality, the goodness of Gaia, and the comfort of being on this planet and being fruitful and multiply. May the force be with you. May God bless and protect you. And let's enjoy this transformation into springtime and use it to springboard into a whole new earth. So let's get out there with joy and with a smile on our face and rock the world.